Good morning, welcome to Bitcoin Bounce. My name is Joseph and I am here today with Dion, and we are looking at the macroeconomics, specifically how is other fiat currencies responding to this upcycle of the dollar. The dollar just hit a 20-year high, so that is something that's very significant. And then we're going to see specifically how the Great British Pound's fiat currency is still going downwards while Bitcoin is holding support. So tell us, Dion, what do you think, what's happening with this divergence that we are seeing between Bitcoin and fiat? Just before we get to Dion, after we finish listening to Dion, we're going to go and listen to what George from CryptoRUs are saying. And I think he's saying some stuff that's going to be really beneficial for us to hear about. Dion, thank you.
Good morning, guys. We can have a look at the British chart, and you can see here we've drawn the lines. Over there was the 14th of June. And from that date, the British pound has just basically gone sideways and then totally dropped with the current market conditions, interest rates, CPI that is high, and so on and so on. And if you compare that, so this is below that horizontal. And if you look at BTC on the same date, at that time we found our support here. That was the lowest Bitcoin low, and from there on we've been holding that support and with the occasional high, and looking as if we're going to break out from here, going to the upside, whereas the fiat currency looks like it's actually going down in the other way. Yeah, so that's it from the charts, Joseph.
Yeah, so there's definitely a divergence. I think more and more people all over the world are putting more confidence in crypto because it's more decentralized. It's not so controlled and manipulated by world banks and by governments. And so that's one of the big reasons why a lot of people trust Bitcoin and other cryptos, just because of that, the whole idea there's not these governmental manipulation in the markets. Okay, awesome, thank you, Dion. Now let's listen to George from CryptoRUs, and he's going to explain to us this divergence. And he's also going to show us an interesting little table that explains that this year is actually the fourth worst year of the S&P 500 in 100 years. But what's interesting on all of those, or most of those years when there was these extreme lows, then the last 3 or 4 months of the year was actually very positive. So he thinks the same thing's going to happen this time around also. Zay, thank you.
Let's get back to what's going on with Bitcoin. Hey, we got a little bit of a pump. That's good. Up about 3% tonight, 19.8. We'll take that. An entire market is going upwards. About 2%, right? So we're definitely moving in the right direction. Ethereum coming close to 1,400 once again. Got a little movement with BNB, little movement with Cardano, Polygon doing well, Uniswap doing well. You know what? We'll take it. We'll take it. Right? This is coming despite the fact that, you guys know I covered the DXY quite a lot, right? The DXY didn't really go down at all. It's in fact close to 114. So the DXY is still very, very, very high. Right? So that's the interesting development. That DXY is still up, and you look at, I've been covering a lot about the British pound, the sterling, look at it, it's still at 108. It didn't climb up. It didn't recover at all. What's happening in the UK is still bad, right? Not only the debasing of the currency, but I've been hearing about energy prices just going through the roof, not only UK, but Europe overall. Come winter time with energy prices so high, a lot of people are going to be struggling. So, economies around the world are crumbling, not just from inflation, but just from even currencies debasing and from the war, from supply chain issues. There's just a lot of stuff going on right now, which is why I've been telling you guys, more and more people are waking up and learning about Bitcoin because they want something better. And been looking at homes. In fact, I'm creating a really nice video for you guys about homes, demand, sales coming down, right? We're hearing more and more about it because mortgage rates are up. Look at this. Home purchase cancellations are above 15% for a second straight month. A lot of people very anxious, very worried about the housing market. Are we going to have a 2007-8 moment where we're going to have another housing bubble? Hopefully not. But, I'm creating a video on it. And also, same thing with the UK. UK lenders are pulling certain mortgage products because uncertainty with the rates, uncertainty with the economy, right? The banks are kind of worried, so there's a lot of, I go on and on and on about all the bad stuff that's happening right now, which is why the dollar is still very strong. The DXY is still up. You have Treasury yields skyrocketing. The 5-year yield is above 4%, the highest since 2007. And what happened in 2007? The housing bubble, right? The last recession. So if you're judging by how the economy is versus before, you would say that looking at the yields, we're about the same, right? We know what happened during 2007, 2008. It wasn't a good time. So we're looking at all these things in the U.S., across the world, not looking good at all. But despite all that, Bitcoin is hanging in there. Bitcoin, I've been telling you guys, recent volatility, I would say recent last 6 months have not been good, but more and more people are turning to Bitcoin and learning about it, and that is fantastic. And I'm glad to see we got a little bit of excitement, just a little bit, okay? Not a huge pump or rally, but it's definitely a start, and we're not heading in the wrong direction. We're not heading down. So a lot of people are still wondering, well, is this the bottom? Well, we haven't broke that 17K bottom we had before, right? And I did mention about previous bottoms, like 2018. When you look at that bottom, we were there for months upon months, even though we had slow and steady recovery, but overall we were going sideways for many, many months. And that is what it's looking like it's shaping out to be right now too. But the good thing is Bitcoin is holding strong. Alts are holding strong, which is a bigger telling sign that the market is strong, that the market has matured, and a lot of people have not left the space because ETH dominance, altcoin dominance continue to hold. And in fact, they're starting to gain against Bitcoin. So that's also a telling sign that things are improving and people are turning. Right? And here's another one. I don't know why Bank of America is looking at this. Bank of America is looking at stable coins, saying that stable coins are now flowing back to the exchanges, which is a good thing because you need some of that cash to flow back into exchanges so that people could start buying. I don't know why Bank of America is studying stable coins and their flows into crypto exchanges, but they are. So everyone is paying attention. Even the largest banks out there is paying attention to the crypto market. It's not just the average Joe, it's not retail investors. We're talking about institutions. We're talking about the banks, the largest asset holders out there. We're talking about BlackRock and Fidelity. They're all in the space. And if that doesn't say something to you, then I don't know what will, okay? So everyone is paying attention. So this is also pretty good. And also I saw this. This is a pretty good, interesting look at U.S. markets. The S&P 500, with the first 184 days of trading of this year, is down about 23.3%, right? Which is the fourth worst recorded in history, going all the way back to the Great Depression age of 1931, right? So not good. But you look at all these previous drawdowns, vast majority of them going to year end, they ended up being in the green. So can we have something like that happen too? Besides the fact that, yeah, we had a really bad one in the 30s, a couple bad ones in the 30s, and one time in 2008, because we know what happened in 2008 with the housing bubble, right? Besides those times, all the other times are actually pretty good. Ended up in the green by the end of the year. Is that a possibility for this year? Probably not. Probably not. I don't imagine the S&P and everything else is going to go on a crazy rally to actually turn green for the year, but it does show you sometimes when it seems like all is lost and we are just absolutely in free fall, everything's in free fall, and it seems like there's no hope in sight. That's usually when things turn around, right? And we're in one of those stages right now. Although a lot of people argue things could get much worse, much worse. Inflation is still rampant. Currencies are still debasing themselves, right? And who knows about the war? If Putin starts using nuclear options, and there's rumors about China trying to take over Taiwan. So of course there are still macro stuff we have to worry about, right? But assuming the worst is not going to come, and the banks actually get control of what's happening with inflation, well, then we can have a good rally afterwards, and then we'll see, right? So this is also pretty encouraging that maybe we're going to get something good coming out of the last few months of this year. Of course, Bitcoin, right? We know that there is this large correlation right now, Bitcoin with U.S. markets, with S&P, with NASDAQ, mostly with NASDAQ. But you could see this one right here, NASDAQ's RSI showing a bottom, right when Bitcoin hit 17,000. And since then, it's been kind of teeter-tottering, and we're hovering around 19,000. But the last two times RSI and NASDAQ hit that low actually correlated with the bottom of Bitcoin going back to 2018 and 2020, right? So does that mean that 17K was bottom for Bitcoin? Quite possibly. Quite possibly. Also, pretty encouraging.
Thank you, guys. That's all from us for today. We're going to be back tomorrow again with some more crypto news. We have expectation for Bitcoin to surge. So please go back to our previous video. Dion is giving us an excellent summary of what is happening with Fiat and with Link, and there's some trading opportunities for you there also. Have a nice day. See you tomorrow.
Great. Cheers, guys. Have a great week.